Hi, I'm Mr. Shell Dweller. You can just call me Shell, and this is my 75-gallon aquarium. I have had this for about probably 2 to 3 years. Originally, I stocked it with goldfish and native aquarium fish from my area, but due to things personal deals and stuff like that, I ended up quitting the aquarium hobby for about a year. But once, I now have my own income and then, getting more mature and understanding that my mistakes that I made when I was younger, I have decided that I am now going to restart and try again, and with more knowledge than I previously had once I first started. Um, so this, once again, is a 75-gallon aquarium. It's dirty. It's got nothing in it. The only equipment on this thing is the decor they have left over, and the light, which is a fluval light, I believe. Um, and today, y'all are going to be witnessing the beginning of this project of mine. Um, the plans I have for it is that it's going to be a tropical community tank, just an easy start. I plan to have platies. This is one of the platyfish, is what I plan on having here, I believe. Um, as well as mystery snails for bottom cleanup crew to clean up any food debris that may get past the fish. I'll be more specific into my plans in the future. It's just going to be a simple tropical community tank, and I figured I'd go ahead and record it just to have, cool little thing for the people out there just to see my journey with this tank. And the reason I'm recording today is I was finally able to buy the first thing for this tank that I didn't previously own, and that is the lids. This is from H2 Pro Glass Canopy. It says that it can go with Marine Land 75 gallons, which is what that is. Marine Land 75 gallon, and the you can't see it, but its shelf, I think that's what it's called, or sorry, its stand, came with it. A very good deal. I don't remember how much we spent for it though. I don't know. Hopefully this will fit. It says it should. I don't know if it will. If it doesn't, then y'all will find out at the same time that I do. Well, technically not, because I'm posting this video after. It's not like this is live or anything, but you'll see me find out if it fits or not. So let me go ahead and open it up, and we'll see if it fits. Now you might be asking, why am I buying new lids for the tank? Shouldn't it come with the tank? It did, but I didn't maintain them very well. They were super nasty, and the joints, not joint, a hinge is the correct term. Hinges on them ended up snapping, so I basically ended up with, really crappy lids. Ended up throwing them away a while back because I didn't need them, or didn't think I need them, so I'm now having to buy replacements. This is why you don't always throw things away. You should always, well, not always, but keep stuff, just in case. Consider what you might need it for in the future. Here's one of the pieces. Probably going to be covered in my fingerprints, but let's see if it fits. Oh, I think, heck yes, it's almost perfect. There's a little bit of space in the back. I would have wished it was a little longer, but I believe that is what this weird piece is for. By the way, sorry for the flashbang with the lights, but I had to move the aquarium light in the back, which was the main source for the recording, so light's going to be on a bit until I get these on. So I believe this is to fill that space on the back. Don't really understand that. Not sure why they can't just fill that with the glass lid itself, but I'm sure they have their reasons. Oh, I know why. So it's because you can put if you have a hang on the back filter, you can put that on there. Good thing I don't make aquarium lids. So I believe if I I just pull that up a bit, that way that can be in its correct spot, and then lift this up. I can, oh dear. I'll have to do that on my own time because it looks like it'll just have to shimmy on there. Yep, okay. They fit! That's good to hear. That was one thing I was worried because these are like $60 for this 2-piece set, so it's very good that they fit. So, yeah, real quick, I think I said that I was going to talk about my plans for the tank in another video, but let me go ahead and just do it now for you. So my plans for the stocking of the tank, like I said already, platies. Specifically, maybe green lantern platies. They sell some green lantern platies at a local Petco of mine. Not the greatest source for aquarium fish, but I'm working on a budget here. I only got a part-time job, so it'll do. As well as I'd like to keep rice fish. Obviously, specifically Medaka rice fish, since those are the most accessible in the hobby. I think I'm probably going to get those from a website called Aquatic Arts. It's an American aquatic fish breeding company that I've known of for a long time. I've really been wanting to buy from, but never got the chance, but I will have the chance now. They sell some black Medaka rice fish that are very pretty. It'll be the most expensive fish at, looks like I wrote, $139.99 for 12. So hopefully those don't die. They're hardy, so they shouldn't. I'm also thinking about, for a centerpiece fish, having a pea puffer. Don't know where I'll source that. I'll have to research where I will buy the pea puffer, but I think that would work for the tank. Especially a 4-foot aquarium for just probably something that's only going to be about like that big. You know, so probably like this. It's going to love it. And mystery snails, like I mentioned earlier. I know pea puffers eat snails, but, you know, mystery snails are, they're literally going to be as large, if not larger, than the pea puffer itself. From the research I've done, shouldn't have any issues with them, with any of these fish, you know. The only one is maybe the pea puffer, but I've never heard about them being aggressive. And it's not like I'm keeping it at a 10 gallon, so shouldn't have territorial issues. So, I'm also going to be trying, it's a tropical community tank, so I'm going to be trying plants on a large scale for the first time. I haven't had the biggest success with aquarium plants in the past, but I wasn't really trying. It was more of a secondary thought of, oh, I already set up this tank. I've heard aquarium plants are good for the tank. Let me try throwing some in. I never really set up a tank planning to have the plants live in them, so I have a large list of plants here. What I'm thinking is, first thing is going to be a little bit experimental. In my area, I have a creek, and in that creek, there grows this plant called longleaf pondweed. Patamageton some species, I forget the species name. But it grows in my native area, and I know some people do grow I'm not going to try and say the scientific name. I know people grow pondweed in aquariums. I just haven't found much information on longleaf pondweed. I'm just going to use what information I could find on pondweed in general in growing aquariums. From my understanding, you plant them in the substrate. So we're going to try growing those. It'd be really cool to have a natural plant in the tank. And it lives in a creek, although technically water, water in these areas in North America is usually much cooler than most other tropical environments. Creeks are shallow water, so therefore their temperature fluctuates a lot, so it should be able to handle the heat, but that's not confirmed, so we'll see what happens. Something that also grows in my local creek is duckweed. Most people consider it a pest plant. But it'll be the only floating plant that I have in this tank, that I plan on having in the tank anyway, so shouldn't really have any issues there. I'll get the feeding rings that people buy where it's like the floating thing that sits on the top that, you know, you can, that way I can actually still be able to feed the fish, and not have to like scrape through the duckweed every time I go to feed them. What else I have here? Betta bulbs. Betta bulbs. I don't actually remember what they really are, but they're going to be. I believe they're kind of like some sort of, what are they called? Lily pad sort of deal, lily thing. I don't know. I'll have to look up betta bulbs and you can see the plant. They're actually called something else, but they're marketed as betta bulbs. So I'll be keeping those. Amazon swords, super hardy common plants that are kept in aquarium trade. They'll probably do fantastic in this setup. Anubias nana, specifically. There was a lot of like Anubias plants I was considering, but I just stuck with Anubias nana, just the most common one that does super well in aquariums. That'll be tied to the core. I'm gonna buy like fishing line for that, clear fishing line. What else we got? Bulbitis heteroclita, which is another decor growing plant. So just wrapping it onto driftwood and rocks and things like that. Rotala rotundifolia, which is a substrate plant. It's funny. It's been so long since I did this research that I really don't remember what these are and they look like. I just know that they should work in this aquarium setup. Helanthium tenellum, which will be planted in the substrate. Microsorum terapus, which will also be tied to to driftwood and rocks in the core. Storagine repens and Eleocharis parvula will be substrate. Another thing I was interested in getting that really is kind of gimmicky in a sense, and I don't really like gimmicky things too much, but we'll see what happens. If you go to Petco, they have these what they call floating Java moss rings, where it's basically just like Java moss that's tied into like a donut shape, and then it is hooked to like a rock with a line. So basically, this ring floats and then it grows in the tank. Kind of dumb, not really a big deal, but I thought it would be neat to kind of like grow that in a proper setup and see what happens with that. And it's Java moss, And then Lobelia cardinalis, which is another substrate plant. I think that's like 13 or 16 plants. They're probably not all going to survive, but from my understanding of aquarium planting, you want to overplant most of the time, knowing that not all of them will likely survive the acclimation process. So I'm going to be going ahead and, not all of them will probably survive, but I want plenty of plants to start out with. With the stocking and plant stocking in mind, the tank will probably be from 70 to 78 degrees is my range, so I'll probably keep it around 75 degrees. So there will definitely be a heater. I'm going to be buying a canister filter for this tank, just because, specifically a fluval canister filter, just because I feel like that's going to be the easiest to deal with. I've dealt with hang on the backs the whole time that I've kept aquariums, and I've just found them annoying no matter which one I buy. So I'm just going to get a canister filter and trying that out. I'm going to get things like intake and outtake sponges to minimize flow, since there's going to be a lot of smaller species that aren't really made for constant water movement. And plus the floating plants as well. You don't want a whole lot of movement in the water. I think that's really it. Everything else will just be, stuff that's necessary for aquarium in general. Decor, that I will talk about at a later time, once I actually have, the substrate and all that stuff. So, thank you for watching, and feel free to subscribe if you're interested in watching me just goof around with an aquarium. And, Thanks for watching.